What's up, Internet? What's going on? It's Monday. Yes, it's Monday. What's up, everybody? You'll notice that the loading screen didn't say loading today, which is an awesome development right at the beginning of the show. I did not realize that the loading, I don't know, the loading file is somewhere. I don't know where it went. As you guys know, last week I was talking about how completely running out of space on the computer, and luckily, ba-boom, found myself a $30 hard drive. Yeah, buddy. Talking about a Hitachi 2 gigabyte hard drive, so that's going to be great. But I was moving all these files around, and looks like we got the old loading video went somewhere. So we'll have to find a new one, or I'll make a new one. Maybe I'll make a new one. Maybe I'll make a new one that celebrates summertime, because it's 9,000 degrees here in lovely Washington, Western Washington. It is crispy. Oh, let's check. Let's check in with the weather, because it's Monday. Weather 89 degrees and only getting warmer. So, yeah, it's pretty warm out, you guys. It's kind of hot and spicy out there today. But, you know, it's hot here because it's summertime, so maybe I'll get a loading screen that is into, that's completely down with the hot, blazing summertime. Maybe that's like a thing that will happen. Who knows? I don't know. I know y'all out there are probably hot also. Unless you're on the other side of the planet. Maybe you're down in the southern hemisphere. Like Australia, New Zealand, and whatever else comes to mind down there, which is nothing right now. But hey, Australia, New Zealand, isn't it wintertime, you guys? It's wintertime, right? Oh, you guys. I got my coffee in my whatever bottle this is. Nalgene. Brought to you by Nalgene, made in the United States of America. Which means that the bottle will probably never break, but the lid will assuredly break. But yeah, definitely hot here. Steve says it's 83 with like 85% humidity. So luckily the humidity is only at like 40%, but it's still hot. You know, it's hot out, man. If it's 90 and above, it's just hot out. And as you guys know, we have a 100-year-old house that was built in Western Washington that was never built for the heat. You guys, it wasn't built for the heat. This is not a house that was built for extreme hot weather. The upside is Vicky and I have been pounding away at doing updates on this house, as you guys know. And today, I'm proud to announce Frank's bedroom upstairs in the attic got itself a little overhaul. Because today was the day for installation. We got the insulation put in the ceiling, and what do we call them? The pup walls and stuff like that. We got a bunch of insulation put in, which is great. I'm just happy to say that that's all in now. I'll tell you this much. I went in to the insulated area, and it's like 9 billion degrees inside there. And then inside the attic, we have a second story here. We have a second story here, and it's like much cooler now than it was, but it's still warm up there. It's definitely warm. We shall see tomorrow. Tomorrow shall be the real test with the insulation in upstairs, mainly because all the windows and people going in and out and all that kind of stuff today. Tomorrow will be the real test to see how our new insulation is working out, because we'll be able to go through the whole day with it being 90 degrees, and we'll see what's up. Now, on the home improvement tip, as I was talking about, we had Potate Bro and his lovely spouse Sarah up here for the weekend. They came up and helped pull some more wire, as we discovered that the knob and tube was much more extensive than we thought. I just assumed that there was just a couple little runs of knob and tube left. Turns out the previous electricians were pulling some shenanigans, you guys. They tricked me. They definitely tricked me with the maneuver of running a bunch of Romex from the panel down to individual outlets. So they had made 5 runs of, and I say air quote, updated. They'd updated with new wiring to replace the old knob and tube. They'd run a bunch of individual runs to one outlet here and there, and then they just tied in all the old knob and tube to one of those. So that essentially, I'm going to be brutally honest here when I say I'm pretty surprised this house didn't burn down at some point in time, because it's like, let's see here. Let's count them up. So 6, 7 outlets upstairs. All the lights throughout most of the building. The lights in the basement. The lights downstairs. 70% of the outlets. 70% of the outlets on the main floor were all running off one run of knob and tube that just went all over the place. So I am happy to say that's all gone now. We've replaced everything with Romex, with proper, 4 to 5 outlet runs on every single breaker and stuff like that. Happy to say it's all updated. I've got some more wiring to do, mainly because this office here, I'm here to announce, you guys, this office here is going to become the baby nursery. And if you guys aren't excited for the baby nursery, I don't know what to tell you, because that's just a fact of life. If you're going to be around this channel, there's going to be some baby stuff coming up. Our little baby is inside Victoria's body, and she's carrying it around inside her body. It's a her. We have figured out the name and everything. We're very excited. And so this is going to become the baby nursery. And that's just how it's going to go. But that means that I get to build out in the studio down into the basement. I can build the whole studio down there. And I'm not necessarily like 100% looking forward to that, but I am looking forward to it because we're going to be able to build it out. There's going to be a lot more stuff that I'll be able to do, plus the networking to out to the fish room. So it's going to be pretty cool. There's going to definitely be some cool stuff. I'm going to be able to... I've run into some obstructions on some of the stuff that I wanted to do because I want to be able to get a live shot of the stuff that's going on in the fish room and the property that we live on here. There's just been some there's been some what's the word? There's been some obstructions in the way of getting that done. So, but from where the basement is, I'm going to be able to run that kind of stuff out. And then I'm most likely going to set up just a permanent kind of green screen thing so I can actually switch to just the live feed of the fish room. which will be fun. And it will also make it more readily available to set up for having multiple people on the show, because I'm going to build it out so that I can have multiple people and have them come on the show on a regular basis. So I'm looking forward to that. That obviously is a long ways down the road. That's like 6 months down the road to get all that stuff done and built out and moved and blah, blah, blah. But I figured I might as well let you guys know that that's some of the stuff that I'm working on. You know, when I say I'm like working on stuff, it's like I'm actually working on getting things and being ahead of the game. You know what I mean? Kind of stuff. You know, like it being a studio down there, I have to put a bunch of soundproofing in. I have to build out a bunch of stuff. I have to like put in a bunch of dedicated power down there and that kind of thing. So, but I will definitely be documenting the progress of that kind of stuff. I've definitely been making some video of it at this point. And I'll be making some more detailed videos. That'll be like edited videos down the road when that stuff will be able to come out and you guys can check that stuff out. So maybe there's some stuff in there that you're interested in. I know Steve, Shrimpery, and more might be interested in some of the stuff I'm doing. I know that Vince Grippa would be not interested in some of the stuff I'm doing. In the fact he'd be like, yeah, I do that every day, bro. And I'd be like, well, thanks, Vince. You're right. I definitely bring that up because Vince posted the that awesomeness onto the Patreon community post last week. That was just basically like the electrician's dream of exactly how you put a panel together, and definitely digging on that. That was pretty cool for sure. Speaking of the Patreon, Jacob just came in and pledged into the Patreon. Well, thank you very much. Salvatore Poliandro the third up in the ante. Thanks, bro. I appreciate that. Fishbait coming in brand new. Ian Van Natter coming back. That's awesome. I love to see people come back to the Patreon because it always makes me... I get... It's hard when I get the bad news and somebody's like... You know, I'm going through some changes. I got some stuff going on, and maybe I'll drop out, and then I'll be back later. So it's awesome to see Ian back. That's rad. Philip M, brand new. I'm going to call him Philip Michael, because it's hard to say M and anybody know what I'm saying. Sandy, brand new. Clint Rowan, brand new. And Steve Horton, upping the ante. Seth Farnham is new. And Elias Garcia Vargas, whom I mentioned last week, but hey, I just like mentioning him. You know what I mean? If you're wondering what it is I'm talking about when I talk about the Patreon, go over there and give it an old checkaroony. And here's the link to it right here. Go over there, check it out. Patreon's a third-party website, which means it's not affiliated with YouTube or Facebook or any of that kind of stuff, even though there's a lot of people around that utilize Facebook and all the other stuff. But Patreon is its own website where creators we're essentially crowdsourcing the projects and stuff. So we are up to 321 patrons, which is crazy generous and crazy amazing. I don't even know I'm running out of words. I don't even know how to describe it. Mind-bendingly wild. I always say thanks to you guys. And so you can go over there, check that out. The community page is there. It's a great place to have a back and forth. We do have a group of, like I said, we have a group of people there. You can post stuff up in the community, whether it be videos, you could be your YouTube channel. It can be a question with a picture, all that kind of stuff. And I answer those on Friday. And by the way, if there comes a Friday that I don't answer something, it will either be answered on the next stream or the one before it. Right? So I will always answer those as much as I can, because they're always so hyper detailed. I know that you guys love to ask questions on YouTube. It's really hard to get a detailed response on there. I do try to respond to the stuff that's like a specific question. I try to get to everybody's comments on YouTube, but it's becoming more and more difficult to utilize YouTube's like responding and notifications and all that kind of weird stuff. It's getting weirder and weirder, which you guys don't care about, but just to let you know, that's what up. We have 100. We've broken 100 people watching live. Well, thank you very much, guys. I want to give a big shout out to Frank Dominguez. If you don't know who Frank Dominguez is, he's the reigning champion of coming in first to the chat. As soon as the chat opens up, he has its notifications turned on and shows up. Boom. Right away. But let's say hi to Charlie. Let's say hi to Daryl Dimer. Vexing Cat is here. Alyssa Bentley. Dan Squires all the way from England. Bald and Dangerous also from England. Oh, man. We're getting some representation in the nighttime. It's dark. It's dark 30 out there in the UK, the United Kingdom. And but we still got people showing up. That's a good thing. We got Jad Orsey here. We got Damian Markham says, hello, everyone. I'll be planting some tissue cultures during the stream. Ooh, that is nice, Damian. I like to hear that. Ryan Avery is here. Good to see you. Let me scroll down so I can catch up on the chat. We've got Eric Gone Mad in the chat. Handpan is here. And there's Frank. There's Frank. There's Frank. Oh, we got Jeff Rose Fish Keeping. What's up, buddy? Good to see you. Love that guy. Good guy. For sure. We got Terry's Tropical Tanks. We got Barbara Jackson, who is one of the big-time contributors around here. As I said, Steve is here. Ed's Fish is here. Wasting Time is here with the 0.5. I don't know what that means, but I'm confused, and I'll probably stay confused. Meatman's here saying, howdy, Oceaneers. If you don't know who the Oceaneers are, that's you guys watching the show. Foster's Fish is here. SC Aquatics, CNH Aquariums is here also. Real Thing for You Fish Tanks. Real Thing for You Fish Tanks. That almost feels like a shout out to our boy Prince, the Purple One himself. It's like, Real Thing for You Fish Tanks. Right? Does that make sense? Probably not. Somebody out there is a big Prince fan, might know what I'm talking about, right? Let's see here. Dango Bicon is here. Shooter McGavin. Shooter McGavin. Shooter McGavin eats that for breakfast, right? Steve Horton's here. Tom Blowers. Is it Blowers or Blowers? Sorry, guys. All right, if I missed anybody's name, I'm sorry. I try to shout at everybody, but it starts getting deep, and then it's just me saying people's names. So I'm going to get down here, get caught up with the bottom of the chat, and see what's going on. Mr. Gillett says, YouTube started sending emails to my second account that isn't associated with YouTube in any way, telling me about comments on videos, etc. Woohoo, YouTube. Sounds vaguely familiar, my friend. Has a lot to do with Google. They know who you are, and if you don't know that Google owns YouTube, you might be sitting in the dark. KB's here watching with the fish. Ooh, I like it. That's cool. But here's what's fun. We normally have kind of a format around here where we go to videos and we do this and we do that. Guess what? We're going to the video early today because I've asked you guys so many times, should we go to the video? And you're all like, yeah, let's go to the video. Let's not do anything else. Let's just go to the video. And I'm like, respect, you guys. Respect. We talked about all the stuff that's going on. We said hi to everybody. We talked about the weather, the things, and the other things, and all the stuff. So let's boogie on over to the video. Because even if I ask you, you're all going to just say, let's go to the video. And, of course, did it start at the beginning? No, it started somewhere advanced. But thanks, XSplit. Chip, chip, cheerio. Let's continue on and introduce ourselves to the video. As the title says, planning the aquarium, answering the Patreon questions. Well, that's not right at all. Hold on a second here. Why is this? That's not what we're doing. I got to reload the page. Hold on, you guys. I'm reloading the page. Did it? Yeah, 7... Yeah, there we go. This is episode 715. This isn't... You guys, this isn't episode 714. This is episode 715. Which, does it make any sense? No, but it's just an easy way to figure out if you're watching the same one over again. right? Planted aquarium pearlweed explosion. If you guys don't, what else? The other part? Can we keep these plants in check? Oh, this guy with his titles, they are so good, man. They're rocking, like, for sure, you know. If you guys don't know what pearlweed is, it's Hemianthus micranthomoides. I don't really know how to say it right because, you know what? I might be a doctor of love, but I'm not a doctor of botany. And no one around me speaks Latin anywho. So I'm rusty. I'm as rusty as they get. You know what I'm saying when it comes to my Latin phrasing. You guys are we doing phrasing? I don't think we can do phrasing on this show. We'll probably get what do you call that? Demonetized or whatever. Which is just so sad. Which is just super sad when we get demonetized, because then people are like, "Oh, I have to super chat cuz we got demonetized." But trust me, y'all, you don't need to super chat. It's not something that you need to do because we got the patronizers and the oceaneers. Okay, there's a link right there. So this plant, I'm sorry, did it seem like I was dilly-dallying? It's because I needed to get the pearlweed link for you guys. So there's the link in the chat to where I specifically got this plant. I got this specific pot of plant. I went over, I bought it from Kobe himself, and I went, yeah, give me that pearlweed. Cha, cha, cha. You don't even know karate? Pah! And I chopped him in the neck, and I made off with the pearlweed. You know what I'm saying? I made off with it. Yeah. And so there's a link right there in the chat if you would like to order some yourself. Feel free. If you would like to use some other plant ordering place or whatever, feel free to do that too. No skin off my back. Koopy's just my good buddy, associate, collaborator on videos and stuff like that. And, you know, so, but if you want to get the specific one that I got, that's where I got it. There's the link for you. And don't say I did nothing for you, because I did something for you. Speaking of the coop, I got another link right here. Go through this one if you want to get one of those hats, because the hats came in, and I'm getting a hat. I'm going to get me a hat, because now they have the small medium hat, which is awesome possum, because I like the small medium hat because I wear it for a couple of days and it stretches out and then it fits my head perfect, instead of the large extra large, because the large extra large fits my head perfectly until about 3 weeks later and it turns into a big floppy McFlopperton hat, and that's not cool when it gets windy outside. Needless to say, I kind of argued the small to medium hat thing, so I gotta at least buy one, right? Fish Tropic says, you hit that like button if you like handsome men trimming bushes. I like it. Dude, I don't think this would be misconstrued as manscaping, you guys. Come on. But, you know, if you are a guy out there, you probably should look into some manscaping tactics. Like, you know, shave your face, you know, because your lady likes some smooth skin, you know. Like, that's important, right? Or keep your haircut. Keep it tight, you know what I'm saying? If you want to look good, you got to keep it tight. Find yourself a good barber, that's for sure. Vexing Cat says, a ninja fish keeper. Mateo, 108 watching, need more likes. Glenn from Canada, is that like getting exercised? Not sure. We must have been talking about something and I completely forgot. BN Cooley Aquatic says, haha, watching the live stream from my new pool. Oh, am I jealous much? Yeah, I'm jealous. I wish I could watch live streams from my pool. Dude, I would be way into that. Oh my gosh, you guys. I don't have the link here. Where is... Can somebody find the link for my guy, my boy, Sashimi Whiskey, Jimmy, a.k.a. Jimmy, the Swashimi Whiskey from Jimmy from Aquarium Co-op. He is going to be back doing a live stream tonight, you guys. He is going to be back doing one live stream, probably 3 months until he does another one. If somebody could find the link, that will be at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, which I have no idea when that is, and in the world time, because my show starts -7 GMT, which I have no idea what that means, realistically. And there's me just bashing right into the camera. Yeah, that's exactly how you do this. You just run into the camera while all the little bits of pearlweed are floating around in there. Let me give a shout out to Clark's Family Farm Poultry and Aquatics. What is easier, pearlweed or baby tears? I would say that they're on the scale of ease. They're pretty equatable. If you could grow one, you could definitely grow the other one. These days, with fertilizers and LED lights and good substrates that are available, I do not find it difficult to grow either of these plants at this point. Honestly, if we went back a decade, almost every person thought it was wizardry when somebody was pulling it off. But nowadays, there's so much research and stuff that has been put in to pretty readily growing plants like this and stuff. I know I have some. I even have some old videos from like 6 years ago that are awful. By the way, they are terrible. I don't even know if I would even recommend anybody. I wouldn't even recommend anybody to go out there and watch any of those videos. They're just awful. But I had figured it out quite a while ago. But here's the thing: between pearlweed and dwarf baby tears, the big difference is you're going to see a lot more benefit as a mid-ground plant with the pearlweed. It grows up a lot taller. It fills in a lot quicker. It's much easier to plant. It's just overall easier to just... I guess it's more easier to deal with now that I come to talk about it for a while. But it will grow in much faster. That's going to be the definite advantage on pearlweed versus dwarf baby tears. All right, I don't know who this is. Whoever this person is, just... I don't know who that is. Just ban them. I don't know. I can't deal with it. I can't deal with that random nonsense name showing up, yelling about going to their channel. It doesn't seem... Well, now you've sidebarred the live stream. This is why we can't have nice things. This is why we can't have nice things. And people say I'm mean. But anyhow, let's see who is asking. Gregory Jones was asking, what is the best plants? What are the best plants without CO2? Without a CO2 canister? Okay, I get it. Sorry, I'm sure you're probably typing on your phone or something, and it becomes a little difficult. But I get what you're saying. So easiest plants without CO2 injection into your aquarium. There we go. Let's word it like that, so if anybody later on knows what we're talking about here. Now, Greg, I would say one of the big things, one of the big pieces of advice I would give to you would be, if you go check out the Aquarium Co-op, that is basically what Corey and everybody at the Aquarium Co-op focus on. CO2 will help their plants and make them grow faster and all that kind of stuff, but almost everything that they carry there, they'll tell you is either easy, medium difficulty, or hard. Tropica does this also. If you happen to be international, Tropica would be a great company to look for, somebody that's carrying Tropica plants. They have a really cool thing now that have that, but in America, I always just kind of reference people to go to the aquarium co-op. They do have some difficult plants and stuff like that, but one of their big focuses is their main focus is bringing people into the community and helping people to realistically find the easy route, the simple route. Maybe easy is the wrong word, but the less obstructive route. You know what I'm saying? Just the path to success and doing well and moving forward. Leslie 09's Fish Room's asking, where do you go to get a CO2 cylinder? I personally, if you were going to get a new tank, I would go to, come on. I would personally go to, what is this? Why is this not working? Start spreading the news. Am I not signed in or something? Okay. I personally would go to Amazon, and I'll get the link here in just a second. Here it is. There. Why is this not working? Cool. Thanks, Amazon. Why is this not working? Just go into the normal... Hold on a second, guys. I'll get to this in just a second. I'm gonna punch this thing into submission. I'll punch this computer right in its computer face by typing in my password and going to the page it wants me to go to. That's literally what I'm gonna do. All right, let me find the link here. Oh, here's how I have to do it. I have to go like this. And where is it? I had it right here. It was at the top, and now it's not at the top anymore. Really? Oh, here we go. I have to click this button. And there it is, right there. Oh, gosh, that took a second, didn't it? While I'm over here just talking to myself while you guys are all waiting for me. Okay, so there's the Amazon link right there. Okay, so that Amazon link right there will take you to empty cylinders. Okay, so you want to buy the tank empty, right? They can't ship it full unless you have some kind of crazy license, in which personally, if you had that crazy license, you wouldn't be asking like, where do I get it? So I'm assuming that you don't. So get a CO2 cylinder empty shipped to you. That one's only $100. That's a big old 20-pounder. I use the 20-pounders in my shop. They, you know, I utilize a lot of CO2, and I have two 20-pounders, and the two 20-pounders will last me probably 6 months or something like that. I mean, I have a 240, I have a 150, I have another 60, I have 100, and they're all looped in, coming off of one tank and stuff like that. So, and I use a ton of CO2, you guys, because it's cheap. Now, once you have the tank in your possession, you can find a local company. Oftentimes is a welding shop is where you're going to look. So you look up, and you open up the Google and go, you know, welding supply store or something like that that's near you, and oftentimes they'll have an exchange that you go there. You go, hey, I have my empty tank, and they go, hey, we have a full tank right here. And, you know, a 20-pounder is normally, I think for me, I think a 20-pounder is like $29 or something like that, to just, after tax and everything. It's like $1 a pound for the CO2. And swap it out, pay them, walk right out the door. You can get your tank filled. It will take a long time. Keep that in mind. It will take like 3 weeks, 4 weeks or something for them to ship it out, get it filled, get it shipped back via the ground or wherever they send it. I'm not 100% sure where they send it, but as far as I know, they drive it to China or something. They put it on an 18-wheeler truck and drive it across the ocean to China and then drive it back. Or something like that. Not sure. But I realistically, that's the way that I would do it. That's the way I've done it in the past. The other easy way to do it is to find one on Craigslist that's empty. Like find a CO2 tank that's empty, walk it over to that weld shop, and fill it right up. But rarely do I ever see the big aluminum ones for sale for cheaper than $100. It's pretty rare because, so to let you guys know, these 20-pound aluminum CO2 tanks, these things used to cost $390 for whatever reason. Don't ask me why. I don't know why. They just used to be incredibly expensive, and now they're only like $100. I don't know why. I have no explanation for it, but they used to be super expensive, and now for whatever reason, you can just order an empty one online for like $100. I see the shipping is $23 on there. But, you know, you take into consideration that I've bought new ones for over $300. It kind of pisses me off, and I kind of just sort of want to just order these because they're so cheap. You know what I mean? I'm not going to. I don't need them. But I'm like, I'm kind of jealous. I mean, I think it might have to do with something that with a lot of people doing home brewing beer now. I think it might have something to do with it. Like that's driving it down. But I don't know. But they're not that. It's not that expensive to get into it now. If you can't even find anything. If you can't find anything local, it's not going to be, it's not even that difficult to get into it anymore. Steve says he's going to need 2 of those tanks, 1 for each rack. Depending on how you do it, you probably will. I would realistically think with the way that Steve's doing, he's putting in if you guys don't know, he's putting in a ton of Planet Aquariums into his basement, and so he's probably going to need a lot of CO2 down there. I would consider how you were going to do it with your diffusers and that kind of stuff. I would probably just build a big manifold out of brass pieces that have a valve. Like, so you have a bunch of valves, and you can just run it all off of one tank, and then just keep track of what's going on there. Because right now I run mine off of a brass 6-way splitter, and then I run them into reactors into my sump. Makes it pretty easy to keep track. It gives me only one regulator that I have to look and see if the CO2 is running down instead of 2. I would personally try to keep it to 1 if it was my setup. That's what I'd be doing. Mainly just because if you check one tank, it almost seems to be that like one gets missed, you know. One thing we used to do in the restaurant industry, which this is probably not feasible for anybody in a home use situation like that. We used to we had this big tank in the back that was a 500-pound tank, and then they would just come fill it up to whatever amount we wanted once a month. Like they'd come around with the CO2 truck and like fill it, you know, which I thought was cool. I don't think it's feasible, but maybe there's a baller out there that's just like, I'm rich, I do what I want a giant CO2 thing in my house, and they just never heard of it, and maybe this is their opportunity. Maybe it's Jeff Bezos' time for that giant Amazon Planet Aquariums and stuff that he's got. Why doesn't Jeff Bezos watch this show if he builds giant buildings with aquariums in them and he loves plants and stuff? Why doesn't he watch this show? He should be our top patronizer. I think that's what it should be. Somebody was asking me why I have the $10,000 Patreon level over the weekend. Somebody was like, "You're so vain." And I was like, it's a joke, man. I don't think anyone is ever going to actually be $10,000 a month on Patreon, man, unless it's Jeff Bezos or maybe Paul Allen, you know, like one of those guys. But none of those guys watch this show, so it's up to us, the little guys, to group together and make things happen. And I'm not saying, you know, I'm not saying personally, I'm not saying Kyle here. I'm not saying Kyle's a little guy. But hey, Kyle, he's asking, how did you plant your pearlweed. That was on a video quite a while ago, and I can't necessarily reference what it is, but I can explain it to you. So you're going to get yourself a little pot of the pearlweed itself. And it's probably going to have 15, 20, 30 little stems of pearlweed in it, in the rock wool. The rock wool's that weird stuff that's stuck into that little tiny black plastic pot. That's what holds, kind of grips onto the plant, holds it in there. And so, hold on. What happened? I lost my train of thought. Okay, but anyhow, you're going to pull that out. You're going to separate the rock wool, right? You can split the rock wool apart. Then you're going to have your little stems here that are very similar to the stems that are floating around. Uh-oh, guys, we need the whiteboard. Yes, very similar to these stems right here and here and here and here and here. Here's some stems over here too, like that. Oh, there they go. There's some stems. Ah, stem, 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 stem. All right, I love the whiteboard. I'm sorry. But similar to the stems that are floating around in the video right now, you're going to just grab each one of those individually with your little planting tongs, your little pincers, your little planting pincers, and just push them right into the substrate, release the tongs, and pull them out and leave them in there like that. Maybe push a little bit of the substrate in to close in a little bit of the hole there. And then you're just gonna wait. One of the funny things about pearlweed. Now let me see if I can't move myself here. All right, I'm moving myself to the upper corner. Oh, I'm flying around. It's like as if by magic. Where am I going? I'm gonna go over here. I'm gonna go to this upper left corner. Because now I'm gonna turn the whiteboard back on. Nice. So one of the funny things about pearlweed is like you can see this area right here. Now, it was grown probably at least to this height. I'm making this mark here. It was up probably about this high. Now, the reason that I'm trimming it is that you can see that area right here, okay? You can see how yellow it is until I cover it up with all this blue marking from the whiteboard application. Clear it. Okay. So, this yellow spot right here is because there ain't no light penetrating below the top portions of the pearlweed. So this is a necessary thing for this plant if we want to maintain aesthetics, you guys. When we're doing this stuff, we're maintaining aesthetics for ourselves. We're maintaining the aesthetics for ourselves along with, I forgot I have the whiteboard engaged, you guys. But maintaining the aesthetics is important for us because we're going to maintain our level of engagement if this thing still looks good and is still growing good. And now it will continue. This will actually continue to increase its growth and will continue it to grow quicker and do well. So not only is this for the aesthetic reason, but this is also for the actual health of the plant. If you let it get all tall and long, it still will, air quotes, be alive, right? But it won't be happy after a while. It will eventually, the base of it will eventually die off. The top will go floating in the idea that it's going to land somewhere and grow somewhere else. But in our closed systems, there's nowhere else for it to go. So one of the issues is that we have to trim that because of all that yellowing down below, and then it will help keep our tank looking beautiful and our plant growing happy, and that's mainly what we're going for here. I have no idea how I ended up starting with that and talking about that, and my mental train went off the tracks. That's why this is a live stream. That's why this is a live show. And so I'll go back and find some questions in the chat. Ed's Fish says, Savannah, I used to use that method. It was insanely hard to keep the bottle from tipping over and releasing the CO2. I wonder how that guy did it. Oh, we're talking about the CO2 in the bottle. Yeah. So he actually, it's actually pretty smart what he did. He actually took a little piece of fishing line with a plant weight, just like a heavy plant weight, and buried the plant weight into the substrate and kept the bottle from flipping over. It may or may not have had multiple of them on there, but I definitely did see the one on a bunch of them. So you'd actually just take a little fishing line and just anchor it, basically. And then you would fill it up, and let it dissipate. And I can't say that Justin is the owner of that store, Ocean's Aquarium. And I can't say that he's wrong because it's working pretty darn good. I don't think I could handle filling them up personally. I think that's the big thing for me, is that, like, if I can't have some automation, it's not great. It's not great. I put my hands in my tank, in my tanks almost every day, but I can't say that I clean them top to bottom or any of that kind of stuff every single day. But Justin does at Ocean's Aquarium. He certainly does, and he takes care of them, and he's always there, seeing what's going on. And he was saying that he only had to fill up those bottles like once every 3 days or something like that. So I don't think it was super labor intensive for him, but I know personally I would just forget. I would just be like, oh, I'm doing a blah, 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 and I would just completely forget, and then I wouldn't have any CO2 in there. Whereas my CO2 now is on a timer. It just does it automatically. It's in sync with the lights and stuff. Like, it comes on an hour before the lights come on, and get some CO2 in there. I find the automated robot thing to be a little bit easier, Can't wait to show you guys more of that Ludwigia in the background there, but I feel like y'all were getting super tired of me talking about Ludwigia, so I figured we'd talk about another plant today, which is this Pearlweed. Pearlweed's one of my favorite old school plants. Pretty much been messing with this plant for a really long time, and always been pretty happy. Peter Hansen said the fishing weight and line was how I used to keep hornwort from flying around. Oh, that makes sense. Used to bury the weight so the base wouldn't rot. Now that makes sense, my guy. That's pretty smart, Peter. I got to admit. You got me on that one. That's for sure. There are smarter people out there than me, and I would guess that Peter's probably one of them. The Pearlweed is so lovely from Savannah. Good to see you today, Savannah. Stay cool down there in Portland. I think it's 100 billion down there. It's 90 billion here. Sounds like 100 billion down in Portland. So take it easy. Take it easy on the Portland with the hot. I know Bradley and Sarah were up here over the weekend, and they were like, "Yeah, we got to get back to our house. It's 105 there." Which, Vexen Cat says 93. Oh, so it's only 93 there. Well, I got to figure this out. Let me see the weather. Weather, Portland area. Let's see it on the map. Oh, it's only 94 there. Yep, you're right. Where is it on the map? Come on now. Show me on the map. Portland. It just pulled up the Portland Weather Forecast Office. That's cool. Smooth. Let's see. Oh, KATU. Portland News. I want to see the live map. Map throughout the region. This is just the Doppler. All right, guys. Sorry. I wanted to look up the map. I can't figure it out. This internet's just so crazy. Elio Cat says 97 west of Portland. Okay, that must be it. Out in the suburbs, just outside, like Lake Oswego or whatever. Oswego. Hey, is there anybody here from the Willamette Aquarium Society? I'm really trying to make it to that in, like, September, I think. Ooh, Jad says she has the perfect weather. That pretty much is kind of perfect. I would say my perfect weather is 76 degrees. That's what I like. 76 degrees and partly sunny. That's what I like. So a little bit of clouds moving around. That definitely entices my my fancy. Because if I end up with a sky like today and I try to shoot a time lapse, excuse me, super depressing because it's just a time lapse of blue with maybe the sun moving, which I could probably replicate with just a light bulb. And I don't have to like dedicate 6 hours to shooting a time lapse. I could probably just hit record on a video and then just, right? I could probably do that. Dan Squire says, if I cut 10% of that much out of my tanks, they would look bare. Joel does it every week. I do this every week, you guys. As you guys can see, I'm kind of ruthless. I'm kind of relentless, mainly because, like I said, Pearlweed is a great filler plant. It is something that will fill in, spread all over the place, grow super tall. It is brilliantly green. It is bright, bright green. So if it's a plant that you're looking for, if you're looking for a bright, bright green plant, this one definitely does that. It's not a deep, dark green, but it is bright green. It is bright, bright, bright green. A lot of light on it. It almost looks fluorescent, to a point. I mean, you know, it's not like a Jimi Hendrix blacklight poster or something. You know what I mean? But it's bright green, and it's a really cool plant. Jad says she's cold-blooded. I need warmth and sun. I'm normally the only one outside in the neighborhood during heat advisory days. Jeez. I can't do that. That's not for me. I got that thick blood, man. I like it when it's cool out. Is that what that means? Does it mean I'm warm-blooded or cold-blooded? Oh, so I guess you'd be cold-blooded if you don't want to be out in the cold, right? Is that how that works? Yes, that is how that works. Like a reptilian, right? You wouldn't want to be out in the cold if you're cold-blooded. If you're warm-blooded like me, you like to be out in the hot or in the cold, not in the hot. Jeez, I'm like Mensa material today, you guys. I think the sun beating down on me over the last week and a half is frying my brain. I heard about that on NPR, that the heat actually makes you dumber. I think that's a reality of that deal. Oh my gosh, we got a super chat today. Crazy. It's Monday. What are you guys doing? Whoa. Hey. Whoa. Easy. Easy with the super chats. It's Monday, okay? We don't want to get too fired up on a Monday. And there's a lot of people out there with all these fundraisers going on these days, so I don't know. But Neil says $5 super chat for the Mr. Brown search party, which reminds me, I was supposed to stop at the market that I think has Mr. Brown's yesterday, and we got all tied up doing other stuff. Oh, we went and saw Ant-Man and the Wasp, who I was calling the ant and the honeybee. And it was making our friend all irritated. So I'm like, it's the ant and the bee. She's like, it's the wasp, you fool. I would say that the Ant-Man and the Wasp, pretty good video. Pretty good movie. I liked it. I will say this about it. No spoiler alerts or anything. If you got a daughter, you should probably go see that movie. And I'll just leave it at that. Bentley Pascal says, time for a Mr. Brown's GoFundMe. No, I don't think so. I've seen so many GoFundMes. So many bad stories lately. I personally, this might make me sound like a jerk or something like that, but I'm getting super fed up with nothing but disaster videos showing up on YouTube. I don't understand it. I don't get it. It does not make a lot of sense to me. I wish people would focus on making content about good stuff that's going on. I wish that's what they would do. Ed's Fish says, I just saw Ready Player One. Man, that car chase. Ooh, I liked Ready Player One. I can't wait to watch that one at home. We saw that one at the movie theater, and it's been a long time. I'd like to watch it again at home at some point and try and kind of absorb it a little bit more. Because I feel like it was wild at the theater, you know? And, like, I don't know that I was paying that much attention because there was just so many cool graphics and stuff like that going on. Sergeant 3456 says, hello from Germany. It's 1 a.m. over here. Right on. Well, hello from Germany. I hope to make it back to Germany pretty soon. I hope to definitely make it back to Germany fairly soon. I am waiting on an email to find out if I'm actually going to or not. Kyle Knutson, what's up, my man? Good to see you. Saying, man, the tank is looking great. I have to say, I am having some slight issues with this 240. It is a big tank, so when it has problems, it has big problems. And when it's doing well, it does really well. I've got a little bit of imbalance things going on, and I'm pretty sure I figured out what it is. A big part of it has to do with you know, I'm waiting to get the end result before I actually make a video about seeding the Calatophora that I did in here, which is Marimo mossballs or Calatophora algae, which is part of what I did. So if you can kind of look around at the driftwood, you can see how the Calatophora is coating all of the driftwood. I'm trying to find out if I actually have the recipe correct at this point. It's probably going to be 3 months, 4 months, 5 months before I can really go, all right, this worked properly, this didn't work, that worked, all that kind of stuff. Once that Calatophora actually has grown in and all that, then I'll let you guys know if it's something that you guys want to try and do and make your driftwood like that. One of the big things with this driftwood is it's super old, so it's really starting to break down, and it's going to be time to relegate it to like the garden or somewhere outside. It's going to be outside of a tank fairly soon, so I wanted to try out this Calatophora project while it's sort of on its last leg. It's starting to get to that point where it's I could end up with some algae that I don't want. We went through and treated the BBA to separate the BBA from the Calatophora, which it actually did work. I wasn't super happy with the result of how it worked out, but so, you know, not to spoiler alert my own videos later in the future, but you guys, the Oceaneers, you guys come to the live show, you guys are more than welcome to get a little peek behind the curtain, you know what I'm saying? This is like me being the Wizard of Oz, and you guys get to be behind the curtain. I'm not sure what happened to Mr. Chips. Where did he go? Biddy Brown just took his bed, so... Alright, that's kind of sad. Candy Overhauls here, just checking in, not staying. Oh, Caleb had spinal chemo today in Denver. Not feeling well at all. Love you guys. I love you guys too. Tell Caleb I said hi, and hope he's feeling better soon. Caleb is our #1 fan, going through leukemia treatment. Just a young buck. 7 years old, and all our prayers are with you. We got your back, bro. And I don't know where your GoFundMe is. I lost the link to it. I am not good at links today, you guys, because as I said, I reformatted a bunch of stuff. Let's see what we got. Where'd it go? Can't find it. I can find it. It's something I can do. Let me see. Do I got the right one? There is the right one. Man, you guys have been wilding out on this GoFundMe. Yeah, if you guys want to donate to something, here's something you should donate to. A kid that has no choice to be in the situation that he's in, okay? You guys have been hearing me talk about Caleb for a long, long time. We love Caleb. We want to help Caleb. Caleb has had no choice but to be in this. He's been in this battle for over 2 years now. It is a huge strain on the family. It is a huge strain on the finances, all that kind of stuff. I'm happy to say that they got into a new place to live. The circumstances are fairly unfortunate, but you know, Fish Fam is been helping out, and a lot has been getting done, and you know, really, I don't know. I'm kind of at a loss for words right now, which is a strange affair. But big shout out to Caleb. Big shout out to the Overhauls. If there's something that you guys want to donate to, that's something to donate to. Because it's not like something was signed up for. You know what I mean? Right? Does that make sense? Does that make sense to you guys? I mentioned earlier the disaster videos. I'm getting kind of tired of it. Where did that go? You know, Glenn from Canada said, saw another fish dead video today. You know, here's the thing. The thing that really gets me about all these disaster videos is that no one is giving any information on like how to fix it. How to fix it. What is the repair? What is the repair that's going to happen? What has happened that is at the very least some information that says, oh, these had a bacteria that looked like this. Here was the thing. We treated with this. We treated with that. It didn't work. I've got some kind of samples of the bacteria. I'm going to try and find out what treatment will work moving forward. It's like, no, I'm just here and everything died. And you're like, okay, what? Cool. So what's this all about? You know? So that's the thing. That's why it's irritating me. I'm not even getting any information from it when it's people that I actually am interested in, like, oh, crap, what happened? And then it's like, you know, I drove through a construction site and I got all my flat tires. Like, okay. You know, it's weird. I don't know. And maybe I'm just cranky and it's hot out and all that kind of stuff, but you know, like I said, don't super chat me or any of that kind of stuff, but donate to somebody who actually does need help and didn't sign up for it, you know. And I also feel like if you bought fish from somewhere and they all died, wouldn't there be some kind of warranty or somebody to work with on it? You know, if it's within a certain amount of time or something like that, whoever provided them, you know, I don't know. Well, yeah, there you go. Insightful fish keeping. It says my video about my poor Cory cat, sick but not dead. It gave the reason and the solution. Okay, yeah, I mean that's cool. I'm down with that. I guess I don't know. It's just something that's kind of been driving me nuts personally lately. Is that oftentimes I go to YouTube to see what's going on, to see what's happening, and then everything that's ever trending is like a dumpster fire or a train wreck or some nonsense. You know what I mean? And it's like, here's the difference. Here's the difference. Okay, let me explain it to you this way. You got in a car crash, right? Oh no, that's something crappy that happened. Okay. You got in a car crash, and that's something crappy that happened. But if you went out to a bar, got all drunk, and then got in a car crash, then how is that like the world doing you wrong or something like that? You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. It just seems a little bit weird to me. You know, and then to profit off of it, on top of it. It's just, that's the weird thing. That's the thing that really That's the thing that really weirds me out too. I don't know. I don't know. And like I said, maybe I'm just being cranky right now, and maybe I'm a little bit in a bad mood. Maybe that's it. Maybe it's not. Maybe it is a little over the top at this point. I don't know. I don't know that I could ever really be the judge of my own nonsensical ramblings, you know what I mean? So, but either way, we'll just keep rocking and rolling and figure out what's going on. Got any questions here in the chat? HC Aqua says, hello. What's up, HC Aqua? Good to see you. I hear that old Jimmy's coming over to your place pretty soon, right? Just Bob says, glad you didn't go that way with the shrimp disaster. Though you did some venting, lesson learned. Yes, I did do some venting about it on the live stream. It was pretty sad. That sucked. I guess maybe I could go back and make a video. And as you guys know, I was moving the shrimp colony that I bred for years and years, which was crystal shrimp, the reds and the blacks, and all high grade crystal shrimp. I set them down. With a heater in them. I brought a truckload back here. I set them down in a 5-gallon bucket that was full, and drove back here, dropped off a load, slept for like a couple hours, like 2-3 hours, then drove back up, and it turns out it boiled the bucket, right? So that was terrible, but maybe I could go back and make a video and be like, $5,000 worth of shrimp dead. Right? Maybe I could go do that. Seems like a waste of time to me, though. I don't know, because I feel like the information in that video would be like, don't boil your shrimp unless you're really hungry. You know? So, I don't know. Ryan Avery says, my local welding shop supply shop fills CO2 on-site, takes about 2 minutes. Oh, that's actually pretty cool. They actually fill they fill your bottles there. I'm wondering if Ryan's like way behind and not live. He might not be live right now. I don't know. But I don't know. Well, let me think here. I know that like with some places they won't do it if you don't have a current inspection sticker on it, because it needs to get with your CO2 tanks or oxygen tanks or acetylene tanks or whatever you got. They have to be inspected to make sure that they're in good operation. So like your scuba tanks, like you have to take them in and get them checked out. I don't know how frequent it is, but you do have to get those, go in and get those checked out. The exchange program out here is the reason that I use that is the turnaround is way fast. I mean, I literally like set the tanks down, and there's a guy right over there that's like, oh, you got 2 20-pounders and a 5-pounder CO2. Cool, I'll be right back. And he like goes back and gets them and then comes right back out. You know, he normally has them set up by the time I've run my credit card. And it's like, oh, let me sign for that. And I turn around and I've got to like load them into my truck now. You know, I had to go last week and pick up, I had to exchange 2 20-pounders and a 5-pounder, which sucked because I had to get them all filled all at the same time. Because I'm like, dude, let me just stack this all up. Let me just stack this all up and get them all at the same time so I can make this bill as big as possible. Yeah, it's my bad, but it was definitely time to go. Just Bob says, I know there's a CO2 station in town also for brewers and home beer taps. Yeah, that's definitely a possibility. I think that, like I was saying earlier, I would say that's probably the one thing that would be easiest to equate the prices coming down for. I think that's what's increasing the popularity. Ryan just thought I'd chime in now that I have a chance. Oh, okay, cool. Right on, right on. He must have been like driving or something like that, which is cool. And chiming in. It's cool to hear that you have a place to just fill them up. I used to do that with stuff at the I used to get the CO2 filled up paintball with the paintball CO. Those ones, I would just get those ones filled up all the time, but that would definitely take way more than 2 minutes to get those done. And then I remember at one point in time, one of my tanks got a ding in it. Like it was actually a paintball tank, one of the bigger ones. Like I smashed into a rock with it or something, and it had a dent in it, so they had to send it in to get it checked for liability reasons, I guess. I don't know. And maybe they're just giving me a hard time too. Maybe they were just like, we don't like this guy and we want to make him wait like a really long time for his CO2 because we're tired of getting sniped by this wizard, you know. That's probably the issue. Let's see. Jose says here in Queens and Brooklyn, some places only do exchange, but others fill the tanks. Welding supply places, fire extinguisher equipment places, home brewing places. Yeah, they get filled and stuff like that. I personally like the exchange. It's always been cheaper. First off, it's been cheaper for me, and it is faster. That's why I like it. That's why I like the exchange. It's cheaper and it's faster typically. So, but I don't know, man. Whatever it takes for you guys. If you have something like really cool where they're gonna fill it up and it works really well for you, awesome. That's totally rad. That's a good point, and that might totally help out. Like Ryan's down in California, Jose's all the way up in New York, so maybe that's just like the best way locally that you guys could like work that out in California, New York, or New York, California, right? New York, California. 78592. That's the zip code that I made up in my head. But yeah, no, that's cool. That's cool to hear that they got some spots. Kiwi Mamo says, I nearly had a disaster yesterday. My dad invited me for tea to help him find his points in a reward program. I ate, helped him buy some stuff with his points, and forgot his 75th birthday till I was home. Oh, that sucks. That's hardcore. Don't forget the 75th. 75th is definitely like a milestone. That's a milestone one because you're 3/4 of the way to the what is it, centennial, the century mark, right? That's one to forget. Luckily, I didn't forget my mom's birthday, so that's going pretty well. Oh, yeah, somebody was asking me about my mom the other day, and they were like, when are you going to have your mom on the show? Now, I'm probably going to be held to it because it's somebody that will remember there's somebody that will remember our conversation, so I'll put it that way. But I was saying, if I get to 100,000 subscribers, maybe I'll have my mom on if we get the 100,000 mark, right? If I get to the 100,000 subscribers, maybe I'll have my mom come on. So I don't know. Maybe that's motivational to you guys. Maybe you would never want my mom to ever be on here, but it's something that happened and it popped into my head because we were talking about moms and dads and birthdays and all that stuff, and you know. He thought it was funny when I rang him to wish him happy birthday, so you called him. You called him once he got home. Hey, Dad, yeah. Oh, yeah, happy birthday about that whole thing. I was over there all day the whole time. Just Bob says, question about your shrimp. You talked about replacing them with high-quality shrimp. Well, I have pretty high-quality Neocaridina shrimp in there in the 150 right now. I'm going to be pulling the Neocaridinas out of that tank. I will be making a shrimp trap, some of the old school shrimp traps out of probably 2-liter bottles. Those are the impossible ones for me to get, so I'm going to be like, yeah, 2-liter bottles, that's how I'm going to do it. But I'll cut up some 2-liter bottles, 1-liter bottles, and make some shrimp traps and get a lot of them out of there. Nowadays, it's actually pretty easy to motivate them out because I use Mainly because I use Shrimp King food now. They come out and pig pile right on the Shrimp King food, so it's pretty easy to net a lot of them. I can feed. I can even do the hang a net and put the shrimp food in the net, and they'll go up in there like idiots, and then, hey, buddy. So it's actually not as difficult. It's just kind of time consuming. One other thing I can also do is actually utilize the sump to capture a lot of them because I can actually take all my screens off the overflows and stuff like that, and then put food into the overflow, and they'll actually go into the overflow and then get sucked down into the sump. And then I can just put a net over the overflow into the sump. It's just some of those goofy things that I've done in my day that are like, it works. It's not the greatest thing to do. It definitely sends them on a magic carpet ride kind of situation, but it's doable, and you don't have to like be wildly involved the whole time of like trying to net stuff that's behind stuff and things like that, because I will be transitioning that tank over to a Caridina tank, so it'll be something, I don't know if it'll be bee shrimp, I don't know if it'll be just straight crystals or pintos or whatever it's going to be. It's going to be pretty cool, and hopefully there'll be a really cool story of how I end up getting them, because I'm most likely going to source them from a different location, but we'll see how it works out. I might actually physically go get them, which would be pretty cool. Oranda Power is here. Fishhead2925 says, done working. Thanks for keeping me company in the office. Time to go home. Well, good. Get out of there. Get out of that office and get headed home. Oranda Power says, smash the like and support each other's. I like it. I like it when we smash the like. Tickle the like. Caress the like. Sneak up from behind a building like a ninja and karate. I guess karate's not ninjas, is it? I guess you gotta like jujitsu choke. You gotta like get a bare naked choke on the like button or whatever. Alyssa says she would like to buy some of your nice reds from you if you wanted to sell to locals. I most likely would sell to locals. I forget who it was. I was trying to pop open my email and see who it was. I was trying to see who it was. Somebody had contacted me about some shrimps, and I think we'd agreed to ship them and stuff. But man, it has become like 100 million degrees out, and I'm freaked out to ship the shrimp. Mainly because of the conversation we had earlier, where I was like, the bucket of shrimp caught on fire. What happened here? Hold on a minute. I don't know. I just got a big email from Foxfire. I don't know what's going on, but I will look into that. I don't know if you're in the chat. I don't know what's going on. I'll check it out though. I'll see what's going on. Either way, get back to the show. I will probably sell some to locals, but now I'm kind of freaked out to ship anything in the U.S. because it is crazy hot out. It's crazy hot out, and I don't want them to boil in there. But I just got a big email from Foxfire, and I hope everything's okay. I just opened it up, and it's really long, so I just hope everything's all right. Everything should be cool. I don't know. We'll figure it out. But Alyssa, we could probably meet up at the GSAS. I don't know when the next GSAS is going to be. that I'm going to go to, because that's the key. Is that trying to go to the Greater Seattle Aquarium Society meetup is next level crazy. It's next level difficult for me to get to because it's like a Tuesday at whatever time, and typically I do the Real Fish Talk on Tuesdays, and it's pretty difficult to turn around and get down to where the meeting is in Fremont. It's pretty difficult to try and get there. Jeff Rose says, trending sent shrimp to a subscriber, all dead at 170 degrees. That's the trending deal. Yeah, I that would suck. That makes it sad. I get super upset when stuff is just dead because people neglected it. It's pretty hot out here. There's a lot going on, but I got my dehumidifier and my insulation in my fish room, so went out there today, worked on it a bunch, checked on the temperature, 74 degrees in the fish room. I don't know. Just seems it's all good. I don't know. We got insulation put in the house now. I'm pretty excited for that. So there's a weird little crack up there that wasn't there before. Arena Power says, hey, Corvus, I have some Java moss in my low-tech 26-gallon with duckweed. How do I make it grow fast? I do have liquid fertilizer, Flourish, I believe. How do I use it? Any fertilizers or anything like that should have instructions on the bottle. The easiest fertilizing situation and tank management situation that I follow is a water change once a week and then bringing my fertilizers back up to the baseline, essentially. That's the easiest way for me to do it. I typically will test for nitrate level to find out where my nitrates are at to make sure that I dosed enough. And I typically will do that the day after. So, like, let's say if I did a big water change on Sunday, dosed some fertilizer. These days I don't write it down anymore. I really don't. But back in the day, I used to write down how much fertilizer I put in. Most everything I use is liquid now with a pump top, so I can just remember, I did 12 yesterday, and I'll test my nitrates, see what's going on. It's only at 20%, or it's only at 20 parts per million, not 20%. That'd be really bad. It's only at like 20 parts per million. Okay, I'm gonna add a little bit more in, and then we'll be fine. My baseline is like 30 nitrate part per million, maybe 35, sometimes up to 40. But I don't like to push it farther than that because honestly, I'm super busy and things will get out of hand. Things will get overgrown. I'll get yellow-based pearlweed and stuff like that. M. Howie 9 is here. Hey, all, had a work event, so just joining in now. Aw, well, good to see you, Mike. We're going to be heading out here actually fairly soon. We only got about 5 minutes left of the show, mainly because I need to get back to finishing some of the wonky projects I got going on because I got some wires hanging out that need to get finished off and turned on and energized so that my fridge will be on its own new little circuit and all that. Megan Ness says, do you use air pumps? If you don't use them, my fish don't, or I said, if you don't use them, your fish don't do well, even with the filter going. Is this normal? Well, it sounds like you have a pretty low oxygen level if you're not using an air pump. That sounds like what's going on. I don't use air pumps because I use sumps. So my big holding tank underneath that pumps up into the main display tank and drops back down, it gets oxygenated when it drops back down into the bottom tank. So that's why I use a Durso style drain. You know, a little bit louder. It's noisier than a siphon. It's not a bean animal. It's not super fancy schmancy. I get it. I understand. You guys, maybe you don't think it's cool. I think it's cool. that it gets reoxygenated as it goes back down, although it is a little bit noisy, and that's always the thing. Whenever Corey comes over, he's like, this isn't absolutely silent. This is making a little bit of noise. And I'm like, yeah, I can hear you saying that, so it's not ridiculous. So it does a little bit of oxygenation as it heads back down, and that's probably what you're seeing on your end, is that your oxygen, the O2 level, the O2 saturation in your water is probably dropping pretty low, and it's probably affecting the fish's ability to be active and eat and all those things. What is this? All right. Well, I think we're getting up to the end of the show for the day. Meat Man is here asking, how tall do you let your pogo grow before trim time? Any special place to cut? Well, Pogostemon stellatus octopus is only one type that I have now. Now I have 3. Y'all will be hearing about some of those later. The other 2. But the Pogostemon stellatus octopus, you could just brutally trim that one pretty much. As long as you're leaving at least 4 or 5 inches of the stem left, I wouldn't be too stressed out about trimming it all the way back. I hack mine back. I hack it back. I have piles and piles of it that need to be rehomed, which hopefully I'll be able to do that tomorrow. I may or may not be trying to pull a prank on somebody with that pile of extra plants. We'll see how that works out. But, yeah, I trim it back. You always want to make sure that you trim above one of the nodes, right? Just to make sure that it can re-sprout, so that you're not, you don't want to cut it like right in one of the nodes. You want to be a little bit above, or just a tiny bit above one of the nodes, not below. You want to be a tiny bit above. So where the leaves are coming out, and you can see that little nubbin of reproduction availability, you want to cut right above that, and it will generally sprout 2 where there was 1, if you do that. If you do it kind of right in the middle, you never really know where it's going to sprout. And you basically don't want that extra thing sticking up and making your tank look funny, making your plants look funny. Potato Bro just woke up, start over. He was here all weekend in person helping out. Insightful Fish Keeping says, I show 34 likes. That's all? Okay. How many dislikes? How many dislikes did we get today? Let me find out. I always have to, I can't look this up on my computer, believe it or not, you guys. Like, if you believe it or not, like, I can't look it up. I have to do this the weirdest way possible. So there's 180 million people watching right now. I got 74. I got my phone right here. I got 74. 0 likes today. Or, sorry, 0 dislikes today. Congratulations. We might have something going on. We might have had something going on with this show. There's normally like 5 dislikes before the show even starts. And I'm like, dude, what did I do today to piss somebody off? I'm sure somebody's going to get a little bit mad today because I'm mad about the dead fish uploads, the disaster fish uploads. Check out my dead fish videos. I get it. Sometimes that happens, but there's just a strange ton of them recently, and it is getting to be a little bit weird. Oh, we got 1 dislike now. Okay, well, there we go. Yeah, somebody in the chat's mad. Sorry if you're super mad. And by the way, anybody out there, sometimes I'm critical, right? A little bit. I get it. Sometimes I'm critical, and that sucks. I try to work on that. There are very few people out there that I feel bad, or that I dislike and don't like. Generally, people that are doing bad things are the people that I don't like. If you be being violent to people, and maybe you're threatening violence on other people, I don't like that. Maybe you're somebody who's killing animals or something. I don't like that either. I'm not into that. But most everybody out there, it's 90. I don't know, what is it? 90% of people are pretty darn awesome. You know, if anybody out there feels like I'm being mean to you, or I'm being angry or any of that kind of stuff, trust me, I want everybody to have an awesome life, an awesome experience, and that is truly straight from the heart. I hope even those people that are doing bad things, I hope they turn it around and good things, and get some good things going. I mean, that's legit how I feel. I don't wish ill will on anybody out there, unless you're unless you're currently in the activity of doing something wrong, aka, like, I don't know, maybe beating somebody up, or acting like you're going to beat somebody up, or going to inflict violence on somebody else. Then I'll engage with you. But otherwise, like, I feel like I try to do my best into the world, to be a positive experience, and that kind of stuff just doesn't necessarily. I feel like that's what I'm about. That's what I'm about. I really am. Like, that's my whole thing. Wiseman says you're a straightforward Aries dude. Well, thank you. I think I do actually kind of fall right into that category. I am a tax day baby, so maybe that's it. Maybe I'm that fire sign rising, and that's just the deal. Who knows? I don't know. I don't have the answers. I do have the answers about some things and can help out and give some advice. Hopefully somebody got helped out today, and hopefully somebody had a good time. Hopefully we had some laughs, and maybe I got you some advice that's going to help you solve some of your problems, because that's really what I'm here for. That's why I show up. That's the big thing. It's about you guys. It ain't even really all about me that much. That's why I show up here live, talk to you guys, and hopefully we're building more and more of a community and moving forward and just kicking ass and doing great. You know what I mean? Like, so I'm excited. Hopefully you guys are excited. I'm going to get ready to go wrap up my Monday and work for the next 7 hours to try and get things solidly set up for tomorrow, so that I can go work all day and do a fish room tour in the middle and film it for you guys, and go back to work after the fish room tour, finish the day. So I'm excited. Good things are coming. Thank you, everybody, for showing up. And a big shout out to Neil for the $5 super chat for the Mr. Brown search party. I'll see if I can't somehow try and stop somewhere and get some Mr. Browns. And Amazon's letting me down. They ain't got no Mr. Browns on there anymore, and that's ridiculous. I am paying top dollar for that. It's crazy. All right, later.